The Blade itself, the opening volume in the First Law Trilogy by the English writer Joe Abercrombie, is without doubt one of the standout debut fantasy novels of the 21st century. The only book that rivals it for the title of best debut, at least in my opinion, would be Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. The Guardian newspaper called The Blade itself delightfully twisted and evil. It's peopled with morally corrupt, unforgettable characters and takes place in a gore-spattered world where life is short and brutal. There are excellent and quite believable descriptions of desperate, terrified people clawing at each other in the mud and blood of battle. It can rightly be described as grimdark, but saved from savage bleakness by the author's wry humour, which shines through on almost every page. Abercrombie's greatest talent is in writing characters it is difficult to forget, who are odious examples of humanity, but somehow we can't help liking them. Logan Ninefingers, the Bloody Nine, a near psychopathic warrior who is in the middle of a blood feud with the King of the Northmen. Jezzel Dan Luther, an impoverished noble, vain, shallow, self-obsessed, who ekes out a living by cheating his friends and fellow army officers at cards. Biaz, the first of the Magi, a megalomaniac wizard with a penchant for manipulating people without a thought for their well-being. And my favourite, Inquisitor Glotka, a crippled war veteran, former fencing champion turned torturer who's trapped in a twisted and broken body, who delights in his job and exists on thin gruel. I won't spoil The Blade itself by telling you the story. Suffice to say, war is looming. Biaz, the first of the Magi, who has his own agenda, is behind a chain of events that throw these characters together. Joe Abercrombie began submitting The Blade itself to publishers in 2004. It took a year of rejections before it was picked up by an agent and another year before it was published. It was followed in the succeeding 2 years by the 2 other books in the trilogy, Before They're Hanged and Last Argument of Kings, both of which maintain the same quality of writing. Abercrombie has since written 3 more excellent novels set in the First Law universe, Best Served Cold, The Heroes and Red Country. He continues to go from strength to strength. The Devils, released in 2025, has sold more than any of his previous novels. He's populated it with a motley crew of largely unpleasant characters whom he brings to life in his own inimitable style. It is apparently the first in a new trilogy. The film rights have already been snapped up, so he may soon be joining such luminaries as George R.R. Martin and J.R.R. Tolkien in having his ideas transferred to the screen. But for my money, the novels Abercrombie put in the First Law universe are still his finest work. I like a book which you can put down for a couple of days or even a week and then pick up again and don't have to struggle to remember the storyline or refer to a lengthy list of characters at the beginning of the book to remember who's who. And Joe Abercrombie books tick both boxes in this regard. Thoroughly recommended. Well, that's all for this episode. If you like what you hear and want to hear more, please follow me. If you want to help with the cost of making these podcasts, you can buy me a cup of coffee. Links to all the books I recommend can be found below.